And let's get into that noise plug here. I'm going to alt tap this worm here. I'm going to give it some surface noise. And by default, just looking at our little worm guy here, if I want to, I can change my noise scale, but this is kind of just turning him into concrete. I can go through here and kind of make him a nice cool concrete noise, but let's just hit reset. And instead of noise scale, what I'm going to do is go to this noise plug. Now in the noise plugin, if we go over here, we can choose a whole bunch of things. We can do grids, hex tiles, houndstooth. I'm looking for more, let's try scales. I'm going to turn scales on, and I'm going to hit OK, and I'm just going to kind of look and see what the scales is doing. You can kind of see it doing a little bit of stuff here. The color blend, I'm going to turn down to 0 for now. And now we have a noise scale and a plug-in scale. So basically, we have a basic noise, which is that kind of that concrete kind of noise. If you want to mix that in with your scales, you can. If you don't, make sure you change this mix basic noise down to 0. So now we're just looking at the plug-in noise. Right now the plug-in scale is set at 1. So if I crank this up or crank this down, you're going to start seeing the scales get a little bit smaller here. And I'm also going to do the strength. Right now it's got a very small strength. I'm just going to crank that up in the positive. Let's do the negative direction here. And now as I continue to drop that plug-in scale down, you're going to see, don't confuse snake scales with plug-in scale. Scale in this sense is bigger or smaller. Scales in the plug-in sense is obviously snake scales. So now we've got snake scales tiled on our worm here. We can change the plug-in scale. We can change the strength more or less. We can go negative strength. I think that's fine. And if you want to edit your noise plug, just go to noise plug edit, and now you can go in here and go, okay, so for scales we have scale variability and frequency. We have strength along the scale, translate and rotate. You can go through here and you kind of rotate this thing around. Now this is just a 3D projection, so you're going to see it's kind of projecting it perfectly where the camera is. But if I hit OK and then go to the side, it's going to kind of stretch through here. Again, we don't have UVs on this thing, so I'm just going to kind of have to live with that. But he's okay, so I'm going to hit OK. I like that, and now I've got scales on him. You can use your own alphas, I believe. Let's go into Noise Edit, and right here where it says Alpha On and Off, let's go ahead and grab, I have a JPEG in here with some knurling, so if we turn that on and hit OK, and go into Noise Edit, let's see if it'll let me. So plug-in scale, we'll turn off Noise Plug. There we go. So with Noise Plug turned off, we just have this alpha that we have loaded. Now we have an alpha scale. We can scale that up and down, so we can kind of make it look like, I don't know, whatever texture you want loaded in here. You can load in your own custom scales alpha if you want to. You can change the strength as much or as little as you want. It's kind of up to you. If you don't want this, just go ahead and turn alpha off, and it'll go ahead and get rid of that, and now you're back to your regular noise scale here. Or you can turn your noise plug on, and then don't mix any basic noise, and now we're back to our noise plug-in scales here. Let's go ahead and crank that strength up or down quite a bit. There we go. Hit OK. Now we've got a worm with scales on it, and of course we can apply that to our mesh. If we turn noise off, we're going to see that our mesh isn't really that high resolution, so it's probably not going to capture all that detail. So I'm just going to leave it as noise for now, and then hit BPR render.